Hi, today we're going over section 5.2, rational exponents. In this video, we're going to do problem number 6. How do I simplify expressions with rational exponents? I like to think about it as one piece at a time. Your numbers and each letter individually. Use the property of exponents that you already know and clean it up, and then put them back together. All right, let's look at number 6. I notice that I have two of the same bases, 3 and 3. When I have two of the same base, I know I add the exponents 1/2 plus 1/3. How do you add fractions? So there's how you refresh your skills. Common denominator. So what's the common denominator between 2 and 3? And that is 6. And then how do you fix the numerator? So what am I missing here? I'm missing 3. So I multiply the numerator by 3. What am I missing here? I'm missing a 2. So I multiply the numerator by 2 and I get 5/6. So just refreshing. So this would be 3 to the 5/6. All right. Anything else I can do to simplify? Nope. So I'm done. Now look at B. I notice it's the same base of 7. I see it twice. What happens when I divide? I subtract the exponents. So 7 to the 2/3 minus 4/3. I'm happy now because the denominators are the same. They're both 3. So I just say 2 minus 4. So this would be 7 to the negative 2/3. The math nerds don't like negative exponents, so I remember to take the reciprocal and just put 1 on top. So 1 over 7 to the 2/3. Let's look at C. If you have a huge mess in parentheses, clean it up first before you worry about exponents on the outside. So this looks like a to the 1/3. Are there any other a's? No, I'm done with the a spot. Now what about b? I see b to the 2/3 over b to the first power. I can do what I did before and just subtract, or I can apply my rule that says move the smaller number and change your sign. So if I'm looking at 2/3 and 1, which value is smaller? 2/3. When I move it down, I change that sign and I subtract the 2/3. So this looks like 1 over b to the 1 minus 2/3. And 1 is 3 over 3, common denominator. So 3 minus 2 is 1. In the end, I have a to the 1/3 from this piece here, and then divided by b to the 1/3 from this piece here. What? They're both raised to the 1/3 power? Awesome. Let's pull that out and put in some possessive parentheses. A over b to the 1/3 power. And then you're done. Let's look at D. All right. I have this negative 1/2 that's crazy. So let's not worry about that until I've cleaned up what's in the inside. So inside the possessive parentheses, I see a cubed over a to the negative 2. And then I see b to the negative 4th over b to the 1/5. All right. I want to kind of write them separate, clean them up, then apply what I see up here. This is all raised to the negative 1/2. How do I clean up 3 over negative 2? The smaller number is negative 2, so I bring it up and change the sign to add because you're subtracting when you divide and you're subtracting a negative. Subtracting a negative is adding. So the rule is move the smaller number, change your sign. I moved the negative 2, changed my sign to plus, and now I have a to the 5th. So I have a to the 5th, and I look at b. Move the smaller number, which would be the negative 4, and change your sign to add 4. So 4 plus a fifth. 4 and a fifth. Now remember how to deal with that? 4 and a fifth. Can I make that an improper fraction? So 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1, 21 fifths. Now I have 1 over b to the 21 fifths. So now it's looking like a to the fifth over b to the 21 fifths, and all raised to the negative 1/2 power. There's two things happening with the negative 1/2. The negative will take the reciprocal, and then the 1/2 needs to be distributed to the numerator and the denominator to multiply this and this. Let's see. Do the negative first. So negative, you flip it. So I take the reciprocal, b to the 21 fifths over a to the fifth. And then you can raise that to the 1/2 power. When I multiply, can 21 be divided by 2 evenly? No, so I just leave it as b to the 21, 5 times 2 tenths. And then what about 5 divided by 2 evenly? No, so I just leave it as a to the 5 halves. Nothing else can be simplified, so you're done. Let's try that one more time on letter E. I don't see anything to combine with x's or y's, and so I go ahead and apply the 1/2. I know I just multiply both of those pieces. So x to the 2/3 times 1/2 and y to the negative 4/5 times 1/2. Divide first where you can. I can right here. So this would be x to the 1/3. And here I can divide 4 divided by 2 is 2. So y to the negative 2/5. So I just change that in your set. X to the 1/3 divided by, because now I'm taking the reciprocal of y over 1. So now it's 1 over y. So moving that to the denominator and making it positive. Move and change the sign. Isn't that cool? All right. I hope that's helped. We'll see you again later.